Welcome to Fuel. Fuel stands for Finance, Unity, Empowerment, Legacy. Today, join Dennis, Dr. Jackie, and Mac as they conclude their conversation on changing our mindsets in the financial environment. Actually, you perfectly have because our conversations off air all relate to
Narcissism.
in a that too narcissism, but also uh, into building enough wealth to sustain our lifetimes without ever having to work.
Hmm.
And that, for our audience, that's the thing. Because let me just put it out here on the line. 3 years ago, oh gosh, 4 years ago now, almost, uh, I had triple bypass surgery.
Mm.
And, I'm excited that, everything is well today, but it literally changed my energy level. That same career that I was telling you about with the CPA firm, what I did not mention before, along with sitting at the table with all of these, CPAs, also came the stress of making sure that those guys that I was sitting with were making money, because that's the only way I could keep my career, was to make sure that they were turning a profit for the firm. Because just so that our audience understands, when you're into corporate accounting, each partner is actually their own business, and they set their goals in accordance with the firm, the overall firm, so that the firm is able to expand to different markets while being profitable at the same time. So, being able to maintain their accounts is a major part of that. Being able to collect on bad debt is another part of that. And those are the avenues that I was working in. So I'm saying that to say that coming back from the operation, it just became a strain on me health wise, which was one of the reasons that I had to get out the game.
Mm.
And so it was figuring out, oh my gosh, I'm too young to tap into my 401k.
Mm.
It's not profitable for me to tap into Social Security. It doesn't make sense without a huge penalty. So
Right.
I've got to figure out, for another 9 to 10 years, I got to be able to live and support my family. And so that's why this conversation today is so relevant, that I had to see myself as being a wealth builder, not just trying to make it to the next paycheck.
Paycheck. Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And so, my association with the two of you has been a critical and major part of this transformation. And that's what I want people to understand, that when I think about, just from a mental perspective and even a spiritual one, I don't deal with that word. It gets thrown out a lot. People talk about they're evolving. I don't do that, because when you're talking about an evolve, if you're really talking evolve, that which was before is totally eliminated. When you think about prehistoric animals, if you had I can't even think of one now, but anyway, if you have a T Rex, for instance,
T-Rex.
a T Rex, There's no more T-Rex because T-Rex evolved into something else, and T-Rex is gone. So when I think about it from a human perspective, I can't say that we evolve because that part of me that may have been doing things the wrong way before is still there. Okay. But I like the word transform and transformation because we can transform into something that's new without forgetting where we come from.
Gotcha.
And where we come from, it matters. Whatever our backgrounds are, I kind of know Dennis's more than Dr. Jackie's because we've just had a longer relationship. But it all factors in to what we can transform into. So when we take that to a financial place, for me, it's literally coming out of a bankruptcy court. Worst day of my life. To sit down and say, I can't ever go through this again. And everything after that has been building into where I'm sitting right now today in that process. So I want our audience to know that it didn't just change overnight. This is about getting into books, looking at videos, trying to understand wealth, how to understand what money is, how to use it, how to accumulate it, how to budget, how to save, how to think about insurance, how to, look at the stock market, mutual funds, CDs, all that kind of stuff, and to take that and to create something that I could be comfortable with. And I'm gonna shut up, but I just want our audience to know because this is really a major subject for me that I only do things from a finance perspective that I understand. If I don't understand it, I don't do it. Even if it's great, I just don't do it until I understand it. If I can't explain it, then it means I need to go back and do my homework. So I just wanted to leave that.
Wow. That the other thing that I love about the 3 of us is the transparency, so that when people, um, view, they don't think, "Well, they know all the stuff. They're the whiz. I could never be like that." The transparency and the pain I could see when you were talking about the bankruptcy, and it's those realities that, as you say, transform, that aren't holding you back, but using it as stepping stones to transform to somebody someplace else where you are here. When we first got together, for any of you who've been with us the whole time, Mac used to come on and say, I don't know anything. I'm the least of the knowledgeable, but his experiences made that statement an untruth, because the experiences of all of us make us knowledgeable in different ways that you or I may not be able to relate because we didn't have those experiences, and which take you further. And the desire and agreement that you can be somebody else, that you can be the one who is knowledgeable about whatever it is it happens to be. The opportunity that Dennis talked about to do something different, because I thought I wanted to do this, but I have these other things going on in my life. And look at this opportunity that I am willing to bring into my life and transform to something else. And then the understanding of wealth, which maybe at another time I'll talk some more about something called the wealth formula. I don't know where our time is, but um, I want us to have a connected vision of ourselves as being able to do these things and not held back. And so something else that you mentioned, that sitting at the table with your father, is the messages we give children. And about money and the uses of money, because one of the big things about money and wealth formula is time. And so the information that we give children about what they can do with money helps them later, about saving, about the keeping versus the spending. Because it's very true that in our culture, we get it to spend, baby. That's what I work hard. I need to go spend it. What you talking about? I need to go out this week. I'm saving so I can go on that trip. I understand that. But we have to keep it for these other things. And as we start learning more about money and finances, we find out these other ways that money can be kept and used to grow, to build to the wealth and not the rich. So,
And I think that one of the things that I like to focus on is that money is nothing but a tool.
yeah.
And you can either leave your tool in the garage to rust all up, or you can put it somewhere where it's going to stay able to be used at any moment. So if you own a house, then you know you better learn plumbing, at least basic plumbing, and you better learn basic electricity, or it's going to cost you extreme amounts of money to call someone every single time to fix your plumbing issues. Plumbing issues only come at midnight. So you're going to pay a lot more money at midnight than you will during the day. But if you know how to do basic things, then that pushes your cost further down the line. So money as a tool, what we're trying to offer is a way for you to start chipping away at that mountain, be it a mountain of debt or a mountain of lack of savings, a mountain of lack of understanding. That's what we're trying to chip away. We actually partner with different companies um, to offer free education. And I know most times when you watch YouTube videos or whatever, at the end they're like, "Well, for $29.95, we would no, we're doing this for free." We're just trying to share with you our experiences and what got us on the right track, and the things that can get you on the right track where you have no excuses to say, "I don't have the money to change my life." You know, I didn't always have money to change my life. I was raised in projects in Philadelphia, and my most valuable asset was my friends. We didn't have money. We couldn't go to the movies. We didn't have video games. We didn't have color TVs. We didn't have cell phones. We just had each other, and we would reach out and play. I mean, I never stayed in the house. We staying in the house was only when the lights came on. Then you had to go home. But all while it's daylight, we played and we learned from each other, and one person experience can move you years ahead of trying to figure it out for yourself. So when I started working, and I was in different environments. First, I worked here, and I learned everything I could, which got me my next job. But then I totally changed directions on my last job. But the people, all they talked about was retiring, buying stocks, buying real estate, and becoming, or well, they were already wealthy because some of their families had enslaved people. So if you're not paying labor costs, you get to keep that money for yourself. But after you learn that kind of stuff, other than the slave part, after you learn that kind of stuff and you start applying what they're doing, and that's what we are. We are a community. And if you apply some of the things we talk about, we're not trying to advise you. We're not trying to take the place of your financial advisor. No, not at all. We are financial professionals, but we just want to share with you some of the things that we've done that have changed our lives.
Yeah.
And um, I've had financial stockbrokers and all that kind of stuff, but their main interests, like Max said was to make the firm money. It wasn't to make me money. It was to take my money, grow it for the firm, but they were gonna get paid whether I made money or not. And that's why I got out of that and started trying to learn these things on my own. And with the advent of YouTube videos and well, the internet, you can learn anything. And you just got to figure out, you got to have a filter because you don't want to learn, everything. But once you get to the point where it's not necessary, um, well, I shouldn't say not necessary. I think college is something that's really good for people. You get to meet people, and college is all about learning how to learn. Um, but when it comes to numbers, as Mac told you, he didn't have his degree. When it came to numbers, I didn't have my degree. I didn't get my engineering degree, but I worked as an engineer for 30 years. And the engineers with degrees would ask me, oh, well, how does this work? And it would be like the weirdest question because you're like, aren't you a degreed engineer? Why would you ask me how this solid state board worked? Because I had practical knowledge. There's a difference between book knowledge and practical knowledge, or as they say in some movies, street and street. But you know what I'm talking about. I forgot what the opposite of street knowledge was, but
Book knowledge.
say it again.
Book knowledge.
Book knowledge and street knowledge. Thank you, sir. Book knowledge is great, but if you don't know how to apply it, you might as well leave those tools in the garage to rust. So you have to learn how to apply these things because knowledge unapplied is wasted. So it has changed my life, and I've reached out all the time to my friends and say, "Hey, what are you doing? Let me teach you something that you might not have known about." This thing called cryptocurrencies is amazing, and the average American don't know anything about it. Whenever I go shopping before Corona, after Corona, during Corona, if I'm in the presence of someone and they are the cash register, I ask them, "Do you take Bitcoin? Do you take cryptocurrencies?" And 9 times out of 10, okay, 10 times out of 10, they say, "No, what is that?" You've got to be kidding. It is one of the next things to help us create wealth. So I'm just saying that as an example of the things that are out there that can help you become wealthy. So I think we can direct you, we can help you, we can get in a conversation because in a community, when I was growing up, like I said, our communities talk to each other. I know Mac's mother. I know Dr. Jackie's father and mother and her nieces and her nephews. I know Mac's children. They know my children. That is what community is all about, and as we get to learn each other, don't call me to borrow money off of me. I'm not. But as we get to know each other, we can help each other.
Yeah, one of the things I want to do to be transparent to our audience is to let them know. Now, we do this thing that we call fuel. And again, you know me, I'm always promoting. So remember, guys, fuel means finance, unity, empowerment, legacy. Well, the reason why we're doing fuel, yes, we want to make sure that you guys are informed in a way that you can understand the different aspects of finance. But I'm going to tell you, the other part of it is that we are working to try to monetize this thing to not have to charge you all anything for viewing our content, but you know, to get out there and explore getting advertisement dollars to, generate wealth. Um, so we're working towards that, and I'm not ashamed to share that because, by golly, if you can do something that you really like, and also it help in that wealth building, well, why not? so so we sacrifice our time for those of you that you probably will see us on a Monday or Tuesday evening, but we're actually sitting here on a Friday morning into afternoon doing these tapings, and we're just taking a portion of our week to make sure that you guys can know that people like us uh, can talk about finance, talk about, as Dennis just finished sharing about cryptocurrency. And I mean, wow, if you don't know about cryptocurrency, you're way, way behind. So, those are the parts of the reasons why we even get on here and have these conversations to begin with, so that you guys know what's going on. And believe me, especially between Dennis and myself, we're always talking about something. I sent him something just the other day talking about some things related to Tesla and some stuff Bill Gates got going on that might be a worthy thing to look at. So we're always talking amongst each other in that community thing that Dennis was talking about, because he might know something that I don't know or that Dr. Jackie doesn't know. And of course, Dr. Jackie knows way more than the two of us combined. So, you know, ultimately,
Specialized knowledge. I think we all have our specialized knowledge. So that's what I was saying.
yeah. But again, we come together so that you guys who view what we're doing can also not just take us at face value, get out there, learn about the things that we talk about, explore it, compare what you're seeing out there on the internet to the conversations that we're having. And just understand, though, that this big word today, transparency, we're going to always be transparent. And, because none of us came out being financial professionals.
That's right.
It's been that experience, to Dr. Jackie's point, it's been that experience that has brought us to this place that we are today.
Yeah.
Dr. Jackie?
I don't know. Sounds like a good wrap up. I'm just really pleased to be here with you all. When I first met Dennis Sawyer through my church, he evidenced a history of being interested in finances and or money, accounting, putting it together, keeping, and would ask those critical questions, just basic questions. And maybe, like I said, we'll talk about the wealth form, and maybe we'll throw out some of those basic questions that you should ask yourself to figure out where you are knowledge base, where you are money based, just like a basic questionnaire. But what it did to me was, as I crawled away and said, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. You may not want to admit it right away, but I'm not at that same place because I have transformed and I say, I don't know. I want to learn and figure out or help me. He was able to turn me on to free classes, and I shouldn't do the quotes, air quotes, because they were free and they were grounded in. And it was something that, because it was so foreign, I didn't get it the first time, but I knew it was there. So I went back second time, third time, did a repeat, got it. And then, as he also mentioned, knowledge without application is wasted energy. I was not going to waste my energy, and I was not going to be able to answer those questions because I didn't apply it and didn't really understand it. So that's what we offer too, the opportunity to hear, think about it, see how it resonates with you, tell you about the classes, present the classes, contact us on the website, on the email that we have, and we can help you. Just like last week we talked about cryptocurrency, and Dennis has information to share, and Mac. This is just a place to kind of come in and join in our community. joining the family. As I show you my background, come take a seat. Come take a seat and join us. Join us. Okay. Thank you.
Well, I'll do mine as a question. Have you ever lost $20 in your house? You tore that house up looking for that $20. You went in the kitchen. You went in all the bathrooms. You looked through the closet. You looked through all your pants pockets, your shoes, everything. And then when you couldn't remember where it was, you looked again. Well, that's how this is all about. This is what this is all about. We want you to that point where you're always looking to educate yourself, because otherwise you lose it, you know? So just get out there, be curious, set your priorities. Any goal can be reached. Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that wraps us up today, guys. As always, it's a pleasure to be associated with the two of you and to just throw out these different topics that we talk about on a weekly basis. If no one else is getting something out of it, I definitely am. So, on behalf of Dr. Jackie Moore, on behalf of Dennis Sawyer and myself, this has been our latest edition of Fuel. Again, please feel free to reach out to us via email at fueling future generations 2020 at gmail.com. Give us a shout out and we'll be glad to answer any questions. I monitor the email on a daily basis. So feel free to reach out to us there. Find us on YouTube at Fuel and enjoy the content that's out there. And of course, also for our Facebook family, we are there on a weekly basis. We appreciate all the people that have viewed our content and that have liked our page. So again, we bid you a fond adieu and have a great rest of the day. Take care, guys.